I'm not a professor. I just play one on the internet. So your receiver sends audio signals, power signals out 2 wires to the speaker. Well, all those signals in the wire are all mixed together. You got your highs and your lows and your mids, they're all mixed together. The crossover separates those 2 signals and sends the lows to the woofer and the highs to the ESL. Developing a crossover is a matter of figuring out how much highs go to the ESL, how much lows go to the woofer, and how that interaction between the 2 will work, because after they leave the woofer and the panel, they're recombined acoustically at your ear. Typically on electrostat, we'll use a second order high pass. Higher orders present too many issues when driving a capacitive load because it requires extra capacitors in series with it. And that'll actually decrease the efficiency of the panel. And first orders will tend to allow the transformer to be overdriven, so we stay away from those. We found over the years second order high passes work just best with the electrostatic elements. It's an overall good balance for us. First thing we do is to measure the response of the panel and the other transducers that it has to work with. Model that in a computer to figure out what values to use, what topology will work. We try to look at how it's going to sound in an actual room. We found that in a room, you can look at the sum of all the sounds bouncing around the room will give you one kind of response. And then you can also time gate the direct arrival information from the speaker to give you another response. And they're not the same, and it depends on the speaker topology, but the combination of those 2 allow us to get a pretty good picture of how the speaker is actually going to sound. And based on that information, we can vary their parameters or parts in the crossover to provide the optimal blending. Of course, in the end, we do listen to it and just make some decisions based on our listening tests as well. This is a question we get a lot of times about, can I hook my 100 watt speaker to this 200 watt amplifier, or my 4 ohm speaker to my 8 ohm rated receiver? Amplifier manufacturers, they may not rate their product for 6 ohms or 4 ohms, but that doesn't mean you can't hook a 4 ohm speaker to an 8 ohm rated receiver and not get good sound out of it. If you hook a 4 ohm speaker up to an 8 ohm 100 watt amplifier, the amplifier has to deliver twice the current. What does that cost? It makes the parts in the amp get hotter. But typically people play music and they don't play test tones at full power. And that's why it's typically not a problem. The amp might get a little warmer, but you won't notice a difference until you turn it up till it's distorting badly, which we don't recommend you do anyway. If you do turn it up to where it's distorting badly, it might go into thermal protection a little sooner. We've tried that several times here with our speakers, hooked them to expensive receivers, cheap receivers, cranked it up. We never had problems. It just works.